Let me welcome you to Remember Caesar Part 4 Tamil Nadu Plus 2 English Summary and Book Reading. Before we start, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, let me welcome you to subscribe. Thank you very much. Book Reading. Weston. The aptness of the female mind to busy itself about irrelevant and inconsiderable minutiae is a source of endless wonder to me. Almost without noticing what he is doing, he moves over to the fireplace and sticks his head into the chimney to view the width of it. As he withdraws it, he becomes aware of Roger standing watching. "I see no reason now why you should not resume your work, Roger." Roger. "Oh, my lord, it is beyond my power to work while you are in danger. Is there not something I could do?" Simple summary. Weston feels it is difficult to understand a female's mind that thinks and does unimportant things. Saying this, without any attention or focus, he puts his head inside the chimney to look at the size, and as he comes out of it, Roger sees it, and so he asks him to start his work. Roger replies, since his master's life in danger, he can't do any work, so he wants to help his master. Weston, mightily flattered. "Nonsense, my good Roger, nonsense. Nothing is going to happen to me." Roger. "I could perhaps go and warn the authorities and so prevent—" Weston, very brave. "No, no, no. Am I to spend the rest of my life with a god at my heels? Go on with your work and—" His eye has lighted on a package which is lying on a chair against the right wall. The box is oblong, roughly 18 inches by 10 inches by 4 inches, and tied with a cord sharply. "What is this?" Roger. "That came for you this morning, sir." Weston. "What is it?" Roger, with a faint beginnings of doubt in his voice. I don't know, my lord. A man came with it and said that it was important that you should have it today." Weston. "And you didn't ask what it was, you fool." Weston is confident nothing will happen to him, and refuses Roger's idea to alert the authorities or officers. So he refuses. Soon he finds a box on a chair that is tied. Roger tells the box was delivered by a man today and wanted Weston to have it today. Weston is angry since Roger did not ask what was inside. Roger humbly. "It didn't seem to be my business. I never do ask about the contents of your lordship's. I showed your lordship the package when it came, and you said to leave it there." Weston, peering with growing uneasiness at the thing. "The man who brought it, what did he look like? Was he small, dark?" Roger, who obviously had taken no notice. "I think he was smallish, but as to dark, his hat was pulled over his face. I think he appeared to have a mole on his chin, but I would not. It may have been just a—" Roger tells he has never opened his master's. He just kept it there as Weston had ordered. Weston wants to know if someone dark and small delivered it. Roger says he was small and hat was over his face and seemed to have a mole in his chin. Also, he tries to say it could have been a coincidence. Weston. "A mole? his imagination at his work. A mole? Yes, yes, that man had a mole. The man who brushed against me on the right side of his jaw. I can see it as if he were standing here. We must get rid of this at once. Roger. Do you think it is some infernal machine, sir? What shall we do with it? Weston, indicating the side window. Open the window and I shall throw it as far into the garden as I can. Roger, but it may explode, sir, if we throw it. Weston, what is certain is that it will explode if we do not. How long has it been lying here? Roger, it came about 9 o'clock, sir, my lord. Weston, in an agony, nearly 3 hours ago. Open the window, Roger. Soon Weston says, the man who kept the paper too had a mole, so this parcel needed to be thrown out. Do you think that is a bad mission? Asks Roger. First they think of throwing out, but then they think it could explode. Weston is afraid it could explode in the house. Roger says this box had been here for 3 hours. Weston wants Roger to open the window to throw the parcel out. Weston, in an agony. Nearly 3 hours ago? Open the window, Roger. Roger. No, sir. You open the window. Let me handle the thing. My life is nothing. Yours is of great value to England. Weston. No, Roger, no. You are young. I have had my life. There are still great things for you to do in the world. You must live and write my life for prosperity. Do as I say. I promise you shall exercise the greatest care. As Roger rushes to the window. No, wait. A better idea. The gardener's pail. It is still on the landing? Roger. Yes, of course. He's out of the room and back in a moment with a wooden pail of water, which still has the wet cleaning rag hung over its edge. Weston, stand back. He picks up the parcel gingerly. We do not know what may be inside. Roger says he would throw it and doesn't want his master to throw it. Weston refuses, and he wants to throw it as well, and wants Roger to open the window, and is ready to throw it. At that time he has an idea and wants Roger to bring a bucket of water that the gardener has kept. Immediately Roger goes and brings it. Now he is ready to throw it. Weston, I don't know what may happen. He inserts the parcel into the pail at full stretch of his arm, his head averted, his eyes watching from the extreme corner. There is not enough water to cover it. Roger, I'll get some. I shall not be a moment. Weston, no, don't go. The flowers. He indicates a bowl of daffodils. Roger, of course. He pulls the daffodils from the setting, throwing them on the desk in agitation, and pours the water into the pail. Ah, that has done it. Weston, dismayed as he takes his hand from the package. Now it's going to float. It must be wet, though, or is it no use? Roger, we must put something heavy on top to keep it down. Weston, yes, get something. Roger, what shall I get? Weston throws the parcel inside the pail. He finds there is less water, and so Roger wants to go and get some water, but Weston wants him to put the water where the daffodil flowers are kept. They do that. They guess the parcel is going to float, so they think of getting something heavy to stop the parcel from floating. Roger, what shall I get? Weston, anything that is heavy and that will fit into the pail. Books, anything. Roger, to whom books are objects of reverence, if not ow. Books, sir? But they'll get wet, won't they? Weston, in the name of heaven, Bring the first 6 books off the shelf. Roger, snatching the books and bringing them. I suppose it cannot be helped. Such beautiful bindings too. He picks the wet cloth off the edge of the pail, dropping it on the carpet, and plunges the books into the water, which very naturally overflows at this new incursion. Weston suggests some books that can be kept on the parcel to keep it down in the pail. Roger can't believe and tells they could get wet and the books could become useless. Though Weston doesn't want to throw, he does it and the water starts overflowing, coming out. Weston, letting go his hold on the package and sitting back on his heels with a sigh of relief. Ah, well, and truly drowned. He mops his forehead, and Roger collapses into the nearest chair. Enter Lady Weston, with a tray on which is a glass of wine and some biscuits. Lady Weston, seeing their strange occupation. Richard, what have you got in the pail? Weston, a package that came this morning. The man who brought it was the same fellow that knocked against me yesterday and slipped that paper into my pocket. They thought I would open it. The fools. He's beginning to feel better. But we have been one too many for them. Lady Weston, in wild dismay. You were making a mess of a beautiful brand new. Finding the package is drowned, Roger falls on the chair, relieved, and Lord Weston too is relieved as well. Lady Weston enters with some biscuits and a glass of wine. She finds both the men strange and asks what's in the pail. He tells the package. Lord Weston tells the package was sent by the man who kept the paper in his pocket. Instead of being happy, Lady Weston is a bit upset and says they've made a mess of things. Weston, interrupting her angrily. Frances! The thunder of her name quenches her speech. What does your beautiful brand new carpet matter when your husband's life is at stake? You shock me. Lady Weston, who was not going to say carpet. Carpet? After a pause, mildly. No, of course not, my dear. I should never dream of weighing your safety against even the finest products of Asia. You know how the doctor disapproves of excitement for you. Weston, perhaps the doctor has never had an infernal machine handed in at his door of a spring morning. Lady Weston, contemplative, her eyes on the portrait, which hangs opposite. He thinks her lady was worried about the carpet on which some water had spilled, so he scolds her loudly. Which is important, carpet or my life? But the lady wasn't going to say carpet. She changes her tune and says her husband's life is more important than the best carpet from Asia. She advises him not to be excited, often against doctor's wishes. The Lord says the doctor hasn't experienced bad missions in his life. Lady Weston, do you think we had better remove Great Aunt Cicely? Weston, in the name of heaven, why? Lady Weston, she's in the direct line of shots coming through that window. Weston, and why should any shots come through the window, may I ask? Lady Weston, mildly objecting to the tone. I was merely talking thought for your property, my dear Richard, and anyone sitting in the ilex tree out there would be in a... Weston, on his feet. Frances, what made you think of the ilex tree? Lady Weston, that is where I would shoot you from. I mean, if I were going to shoot you. The leaves are thick enough to hide anyone sitting there, and yet not enough to obscure their view. Lady Weston looks at the portrait of the great Aunt Cicely and wants that to be removed, and when questioned by her husband, she answers, as the portrait is in the direct lines of shooting, Weston doesn't understand and questions her thinking of shooting from outside, and when questioned she believes anyone from the ilex tree could try to shoot. The judge asks why that was the case. His wife answers there are leaves that can help to hide and is very difficult to be seen. Thank you for watching part 4. We will meet in part 5. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and press the notification button.